What is up, my fellow Ojamans? CryptJ1958 here, coming at you with another deck profile. We're going to be doing the metalfoes deck profile that I took to Tier 2 Tuesday. There is a shop that does, Tier 2 Tuesday, so they ban all of the, like, really, top tier meta decks. Anything that stops your opponent, they'll ban. So, Mystic Mine, you can't play. Um, Wind Barrier Statue, any of the stuff that kind of you can cheat out of the deck and just stop your opponent from play, they kind of ban. And I was gonna have a few Tuesdays off because I just switched jobs, going full time at my one job, and instead of doing two different jobs at part time, I'm actually making more money this way. So now I can actually start getting cards and uploading a little bit more. But I saw I was going to have a couple Tuesdays off, so I decided to build Metal Foes is just kind of a fun goof off deck. And I ended up going X1 when I went, because we are going to use halq because that is actually not banned there. So what I have down here are our low scales. All of the metal foes have the same effect. While they're in scale, they can target another card on the field, another face-up card, destroy it, and if you do, you set a metal foe spell or trap from the deck to the field. So we got 3 gold drivers, 1 stealing, or 2 stealing, 2 silvered, and then 2 Melcaster. Melcaster is the only low scale that is an effect monster, and if he's in the scale and he gets popped, it actually does trigger his monster effect. It just says if he's face up on the field and is destroyed by battle or card effect, then you can add 1 face up metal foes monster from your extra deck to your hand. It just can't be put in the pendulum zone this turn. So those are our low scales as far as the metal foes go. And then our high scale, we got the 1 Bismagar, which is very similar to Melcaster, only he adds at the end phase from the deck to the hand. And then we got the 2 Volflame. And those are our high scales as far as the metal foes goes. Come on, our support is Cleave Fort, Scout, and Monolith. This is how we get 2 level 5s on the field to go into Cyber Dragon Nova and then into Infinity. Give us a negate and a way to snatch a opponent's monster, get some damage on the board. A lot of fun. And then some of our other support cards. We got Triple Rescue Rabbit. This gets us access. This gets us access to one of the most broken cards in the deck, which is going to be Magical Libra, which was a it's only been printed once out of Rising Rampage, level 4 Pendulum Tuner, 1000, 1000, and I have no idea what the Pendulum effect does. I never put that in the scale, because it's always on the field because it's a tuner. And just this card existing makes it so Rescue Rabbit is a 1-card halq combo. And then, of course, the Despot 101. For our hand traps, I'm running 3 Ash, and I have filmed this video 3 times, and people keep sending me messages in the middle of it, so I've switched cards in and out of the deck several times, so I'm not going to re-sleeve these ones again, but we're running triple Gamma and the 1 driver just to stop, Ash when we're trying to use any of our effects that might get ashed or whatever, while we have no monsters on the field, because that does happen quite a bit. That is actually our monster lineup. So we're going to go into our Metal Foes cards. Metal Foes Fusion. This card draws itself. Basically, you can use cards from hand and field as fusion material, and then while it's in your graveyard, you can shuffle it back into your hand or into the deck, and then draw 1 card. And it's a 1 of, but I draw it way too often off of its own effect. Then I have I think German printing of Full Metal Foes Fusion. This is just cards on the field as fusion material. It's a quick play, so you set it and forget it until your opponent's turn. The most broken fusion card that I think has been made, Parametal Foes Fusion, you can use fusion material from the hand, field, or face up on the extra deck. And if you use the face up extra deck, you just send it to the graveyard. But you can only use one from each place. So pretty much you just do your combo. You get rid of a card in your hand that you couldn't get on the field, and you get rid of one of your cards that you've already blown up with its scale effect, and you basically can go into your fusions. And then we got combination. This doesn't stay on the field too long because usually you're blowing it up so you can get the +1. While it's face up on the field, if a fusion monster is summoned, you can special summon a metalfoes monster from your graveyard that's level is lower than the fusion monster summoned. So you can use that to get back your alkahist or whatever you need to do. And then if it's destroyed by card effect, then you can add a metalfoes from your deck to hand. And that is our metalfoes cards, because we can recur them pretty easily. Then we got the one expected die, one painful choice, summons a level 4 or lower vanilla monster from the deck. You pitch a vanilla to add a vanilla of the same name. Emergency teleport. All of the metalfoes are psychic. And then you can also use it to get Gamma on the field if you need to. 3 Summoner's Art. Just because it helps you get your Cleaford engine. It can also help you get your Volflame if you need a high scale. And then we're running 3 Pot of Desires. I would much rather have Pot of Prosperity, but I am not going to spend almost $300 on a playset of Prosperity. Especially for a deck that I'm only going to play here and there, like as a for fun thing. So I have to play around the desires in my hand, kinda. I have to make sure I have most of the combo going, because I don't want to banish my Despot, because that just kind of makes Alka-Vibrax useless. We got our 3 tokens, because we're going to use Auroradon. We got our Arclight, a Omega, and the Warlord Savage. Arclight, while it's on the field, any card your opponent sends from hand or deck to the graveyard is banished instead, so anything that specifically says it has to be discarded to the graveyard will not activate. It also stops decks that need cards in the graveyard, that mill them. Danger cards, or danger decks, Tri-Brigade, that pitches a bunch of stuff to the graveyard. Dragon Link sends stuff to the graveyard fairly frequently. Lightsworn, anything like that is going to get banished instead, which is going to help. And then it's a Omni Negate, tributes itself to Negate. You do banish things a fair amount in this deck, just with some of the card effects and stuff. So, Omega helps you recycle that, rips a card out of your opponent's hand for a little bit, so can kind of slow him down there. Warlord Savage, of course, attaches a Link monster, gives it that many negates, and then gives it a power boost. Then for our fusions, 2 Mithrium and 2 Alkahist. There are some metalfoes decks that I saw that were playing basically all of the fusions, and they were using it as a kind of like a stall deck, using instant fusion, not instant fusion, super poly. It's been a long day. Super poly to kind of break their opponent's board. I find this setup to be a little bit stronger. Alkahist is our main monster. We're going to go into him the most, because you bring him out in defense mode, and then on your opponent's turn, quick effect, you target 1 effect monster on the field, equip it to him, and his defense becomes equal to the attack points of that monster. So basically, you end with him on the field, and then your opponent, normal summons or whatever, they get a monster on the field, and then you quick effect, attach it to him, and you can stop their plays. If you set up full metalfoes fusion and you have a token or another metalfoes on the field, you can use the full metalfoes fusion, send this and the token or other metalfoes to bring out another one, and then you can steal another monster. And if you steal a monster and then they end phase, then you have something in your spell and trap card zone that you can use your scale to pop to set from the deck. Mithrium is your recycler. Mithrium has an effect where if you have 2 metalfoes cards in the graveyard, you can target those 2 and target 1 card on the field, shuffle the 2 cards from the graveyard into the deck, and then bounce the targeted card on field to hand. So helps you play around back row, can get rid of monsters that you can't really attack over, and it just gets your spells or your fusion spells into the deck, so you can kind of keep going. Those are really strong. They're a lot of fun. And then for our links, we got Link Spider. This would be the IP, but like I said, I've filmed this video 3 times and people kept sending me stuff. And when I watched it back, you can actually hear my phone go off. So I already have that deck box put deep into my backpack, so I'm not getting that back out. halq Fibrax, Rorodon, and then I have the Avramax. So obviously we're going to use Magic Libra to go into halq. halq gets Despot, Despot goes into him, he brings out the tokens, Despot comes back, and then usually at that point we go into... we usually use our fusions first, so we can go into Alkahist, and then we're going to leave 1 token, the Auroradon, and then we're going to go into our Arclight. And we do it that way so we're not banishing stuff from hand. We can do it the other way and we can banish, and then we just have to hope we don't need that card or go into Omega later. We leave the token on the field so we can put the full metalfoes fusion down, and then on our opponent's turn do that double steal that I was talking about. But that is our links. And then we got Dweller. This is not necessarily important. This is one of those spots. So IP, Avramax, and Abyss Dweller are really whatever you want them to be. Some people use the Utopia package. Some people use, more links. It just kind of depends on what you're going against, what you have access to. But then we have the Nova and, of course, the Infinity to round off the extra deck. So that is the deck. Like I said, took it to Tier 2 Tuesday, went X1. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of cool to watch people realize they were playing against metalfoes and then kind of get clapped. I think the hardest matchup I had was not even the one I lost to, because I really only lost to Droll. Because if you get Drolled after you play like Summoner's Art or whatever, if you don't have, any of your other stuff you need, then you're kind of screwed. And that's basically what happened. Is I opened up a lot of the searchers, and I got Drolled after the first one, so I wasn't able to keep playing, and that's how I lost that one. But I actually played against a Altergeist deck, and we basically went to game 3, and it was just us grinding and grinding and grinding until time got called. And I only won the match because they had used Judgment right before time got called. So that was probably the hardest matchup, but the rest were fairly simple. Let me know what you guys think about the deck. Let me know if you'd make any changes. I've looked at a lot of different metalfoes decks, and a lot of them were very similar. So doesn't seem to be a whole lot of wiggle room. I mean, if we had Electromite, I think we could do a lot more. the new Link 2 that came out of, was it Lightning Overdrive, I think, is decent. Maybe Phantom Rage. I don't remember which one. It's decent, but you gotta like go into it and then pop it, and then it brings itself back, and then its whole gimmick is you do that, and then you have more spaces you can pendulum summon from your extra deck with. But there are better ways of using those resources. So that's why I don't play that. Yeah, let me know what you guys think, what you would do different. If you have any suggestions on what could improve the deck, let me know. As always, like, subscribe, keep commenting, and I'll see you guys later.